Now welcome back to the 6th CSS tutorial of learning how to code for Pidgin English. For inside this tutorial, we go to discuss about box model. Before this tutorial, you go remember say wetin we been dey do na to select tags, come give am different style. The selection fit take in form of class, ID or the element itself. Wetin I dey try talk be say for inside this tutorial, we go look beyond that. So let's get started with our box model. But before we start, e dey important to tell you say everything wey we dey see for our website na box and nothing more, and na exactly where e come start to dey get interesting be that. You see this our HTML file wey dey here, everything wey we put inside this our HTML file as e dey like this, say na image o, say na text o, video, audio, anything. Once e reach inside the browser like this, for us to be able to see am as website, e go turn into box. Now to give you a good example of that, make I just switch back to this file wey dey here like this inside my Word document. So as you see am like this, these different colors wey you dey see here, so all of them together na wetin box model just be that. So for inside box, we have margin wey I take use this gray color to represent. We have border wey I take use this green color to represent. We have padding wey I take use this yellow color to represent, and we have our content wey I take use this purple color to represent. So I go just switch back to our website now. Now inside our website as e dey like this, just imagine say this CodeNPidgin wey you dey see here, so the representation na box. Now inside that box, we can't get content, we get padding, we get border, and we can't get margin. So I will just come back here like this, come take give you this full explanation. So anything wey you put for your website wey be say na inside your HTML, you don represent am, na content e be. For you to get the idea of this box model very well, as you see am, just have a concept of content and border. Now when you put your content for inside HTML, say na image, audio, anything wey you put for inside HTML, when you wan represent am for inside your website, e go turn box. Now that box go get border. Just forget about this padding and this margin first. Now that box go get border, as you see am. So we don already know say we get content and we get border, but that border e go always dey imaginary, you no go see am. Now the space between that border and that content na wetin dem dey call padding be that. Now the space wey come dey between outside that border and the border na wetin dem dey call margin be that. This explanation fit just dey a little confusing, no just worry yourself at all, just follow me, you go still understand am. So wetin I go just do now be say I go come put another new content on top our website, and I go use that one take explain in full. Now switch to my Sublime Text. So I go just talk say H3, make I just give am H3 so that e go dey different from everything wey we don dey do since morning. So I go just do am like this, say Bioku is a boy. Now as I don type Bioku is a boy like this, so I go just save this information, go reload am for our website. So I go just reload am for our website like this. Now you don see say I don get Bioku is a boy here. Forget about this color red wey put am, because say we don specify say anything wey we dey do for inside our CSS, make e dey color am red except the paragraph tag. Na why e be say anything wey we put for inside our website like this, e go always dey carry that red color. So no just bother yourself about this red color. Now the content wey we don represent here, so na Bioku is a boy. But you go remember say I tell you say the content dey always get border around am, but if you no specify that border, e no go show. Na why be say na transparent border e dey always carry. But from this moment on, just know say anything wey you represent for inside your HTML, e dey always get border around am. So we go just go now back to our CSS file, go show that border around this Bioku is a boy. So I go just come here talk say H3, but the way wey I dey see am like this, I no just wan give am H3, so I go just come here come give am class. Talk say class. As I give am class, I will give the name of the class to be Bioku. Shey you see am? I go come back here, instead of H3, I go just do class dot Bioku. So inside this dot Bioku now, I will come follow the normal CSS structure, give am open and closing parentheses. Now wetin I wan do now be say I wan give am border. before we come talk properly about border and its attribute, I go just show you this example just to have that border for me to explain wetin box model be, so that we go get the full understanding of padding and margin. So I go just talk say border. Now as I don talk say border, now I wan give the border color, I wan make the border thick, and I wan give the style of the border. No just worry at this point first, we go still talk about border in details. I just wan make you understand something, so I go just talk say black wey be the border color. No, I wan make e show well well. I go talk say green. Now green. Now I wan give the size of the border, the thickness of the border. I go talk say 10 pixels. This one too thick, but for me to just explain say we fit give the width of the border so that e go thick well well. So I go just talk say solid. The first value wey dey here na the color wey this border go get. The second value na the width of the border. The last one na the style of the border. So I go just save this information as e dey like this, come go back to our browser, reload our website. Now shey you see this bioku is a boy con ten t, e don show the border around this bioku is a boy. Shey you dey see am, and the border come dey 10 pixels thick. E come be like this wey we get here like this. Shey you see am? So inside here like this, I don show my bioku is a boy wey be the con ten t. You dey see am? And the border come dey show, and I come color the border and things like that around this bioku is a boy. Shey you see am? So the idea be say everything wey you represent for your website na con ten t, and that con ten t e dey always get border around am. But if you no clearly specify the border, e no go show. So now you know wetin con ten t and border be. So wetin I go just do now be say I go just minimize this one as e dey like this. Now you see say this padding as e dey like this, e dey between border and con ten t. And you know say the con ten t wey we dey explain now na bioku is a boy. E mean say this padding na the space wey dey between this bioku is a boy and this border. So this little space wey dey here like this na wetin dem dey call padding be that. And na why I come put am here, wey be say e come dey between con ten t and border, come use this yellow color take separate am. Now the space between this border and outside na wetin dem dey call margin be that. Now if I expand this information now, you go see say the space between my screen and my border na wetin dem dey call margin be that. Now as I don explain wetin con ten t, border, padding and margin come mean like this, so as I dey see this bioku is a boy con ten t like this, e come be like say e dey choked up inside this border. So if I wan make space dey around this bioku is a boy like this, wetin I go do? So I go just come back to my CSS file like this. Inside my CSS file like this, I go just talk say padding. You see am? Now I go just give am 25 pixels. Shey you see am? So I go save this information like this, come go back to our website, reload am. Now shey you don see? You see say the space between this con ten t and this border don increase. Shey you see am? Pay at ten tion to the margin o. You see say the margin no increase. You see am? You see am here? The margin no increase. Exactly. So anything wey you wan do, you always want to ask your question say shey na margin I wan increase abi na padding I wan increase. This simple explanation go make life dey very very easy for you as you dey go along doing your CSS. So wetin I go just do now be say I go just take all these things one after the other, come talk about their attributes wey we fit use for inside our CSS. So I go just close this one up now because we no really need am again. No, I no need you, just comot. The first one wey we go just talk about na border. So if you come go back to our CSS like this, make I just increase this one a little bit so that e go dey very clear to understand. So border come get 4 different types of attributes wey we fit add. E come get border top, e get border bottom, e get border right and border left. Wetin that one mean be say you fit apply different style to this border wey dey on top. You see this border as you see am like this. So this one na border top. If you wan target this border top like this, you go just target am. So we get border left, we get border bottom and we get border right as e dey like this. So wetin I go just do now be say I go just target this border top, come give am special style. So I go just come back here talk say border top. Okay, I go just clear this one comot. I go just talk say border top red, give am red. As I don give am red, I go come talk say make e take 2 pixels. Shey you see am? I go come tell am say make e be solid. Shey you see am? So I go just save dis information now, go back to our website, come reload am. Shey you see am? So because say na only border top attribute na im we dey use, na why you see am dis border wey dey here like dis. Shey you dey see am? So I go just come back here like dis. So if I wan add border bottom, I go just copy dis one as e dey like dis, Ctrl C, come back here, paste am like dis, come talk say border bottom, just talk say border bottom, give dis one yellow, come increase dis size to 12. Shey you see am? Come save dis information, go back to our website, come reload am. Shey you see say dis border bottom now e don dey too thick pass dis one. Dis border top come tiny. Shey you see am? But the idea be say we get border top, border bottom, border right and border left. The advantage of the understanding of dis border go make life dey very easy for you. You go remember say we talk about horizontal tag for inside our HTML, but we no talk about vertical tag. So if you wan draw vertical line for inside your HTML, you go fit just use border take draw your vertical line. So wetin you go just do be say you go just come here inside our CSS, inside our HTML now, because we just wan draw vertical line. Let me just clear dis bioku is a boy text comot for inside dat thing. So I go just come back here now talk say I wan draw vertical line. I go just talk say border left. So my border left, you fit talk say border left or border right. So make I just choose border right now. So dis one as e dey here like dis, I don talk say border right. So I go give am color, I go make am thick, I go come give am the style. So I go talk say make e be red. As e be red so, I go talk say make e be 5 pixels. I go come talk say make e be solid. You see am? So I go just save dis information like dis, go back to our website, come reload am. Now you see say we don get our horizontal line as e dey here like dis, but we still dey get dis bioku is a boy. Wetin dey happen? Be like say we no save our file, our HTML file. Now shey you see say we no save our HTML file. How I take know say I no save my HTML file be say you see dis dot wey dey here, shey you see am? Wey dey here. If I press Ctrl S now, dis dot go disappear. So anytime wey you don put any information for inside your file, whether na your HTML file or your CSS file, if the changes no reflect for your website, you always want to be sure whether you save your file abi you no save am. So if I come back to my HTML file like dis, come press Ctrl S, you see say e don disappear. So we go just come back to our browser like dis, come reload our website. Now you see say as we remove dat bioku is a boy, e come delete dat our line sef, our vertical line wey be say e bin dey here. So wetin dey happen be say computer no know exactly how to draw dat vertical line. E no know the height of dat vertical line. So wetin we go just do be say we go just come back to our CSS here, come give am height. So if you just come here talk say height, so let's talk say 50 pixels. So if you save dis information like dis, come back to our browser, come reload our website. Now you see say we don get our vertical line here. Shey you dey see am? So border dey very useful for us to draw vertical line and things like dat for inside our CSS. Now we don talk about border top, border bottom, border right and border left. E come get many other properties wey border get. Border come get border color, border width, border style. For inside dis one as e dey like dis, we come combine everything together for inside one: border color, border width and border style. Shey you see am? But we fit just represent dem separately as dem dey like dat, say we no wan make all of dis information come dey together inside one. I go just clear dis information comot, save am, come go reload am for our website. You see say we no get anything again as e dey like dis. So wetin I go just do now be say I go just come back to my CSS file here. I go just talk say border width, I go give dis border width to be 5 pixels. Now, and you know exactly wetin border width dey do now. Now I go talk say border color now, I wan talk say make e be blue. Shey you dey see am? Now the border style wey we dey talk say solid, So we get solid, we get dashed, we get dotted, we get double, we get groove, we get ridge, we get insert, and we get outset. So if I just come here like this, I go just talk say border style. So see am here, I go just click this border style, come give am double. Remember say before I just give am solid, so now I don change am to double. So I go just save this information as e dey like this, go back to our browser, come reload our website. Now shey you don see. So if I wan change the style now, I go just come back to my CSS file here. Let me just put dashed. So if I just put dashed here, shey you see am, I go just come back here like this, reload our website, and you go see say e don turn am to dashed. So we get different option like that for inside our CSS. Let me just change am to groove now so that you go see the difference again. So I go just change this one to groove. So I change am to groove now, go back to our website, come reload am. Shey you see say e come be like say e come dey like plastic. Shey you see am, but make I just go increase the width well well so that you go fit see am. So I go just come back to our CSS file here, come increase this width to like 55, come save this information, go back to our browser, come reload our website. Shey you see am, you see the groove style. Shey you see am, e come be like say na frame. Exactly. So we get dem plenty like that. So wetin I go just do now be say make I just put insert so that you go fit know the difference well well. So make I come back to our CSS file, come put insert here. I save this information now, go back to our browser, come reload am. Shey you see the difference? Shey you see? So this one come be like say you come curve am inside. Exactly. And you fit just play around with all of this information. Now we go talk about border radius. Now wetin border radius dey do be say, you see all these edges, these sharp edges wey dey here like this, we fit use border radius to take style am. Shey you see am? We go just talk say okay, border radius, so we give am number, so e go come curve this edge for us as you see am. So I will just come back to our CSS file here, talk say border radius. See am here, border radius. As I don click border radius here, so I go just give this one to be 10 pixels. You see am? So if I save this information now, I go just go back to my browser, reload our website. Now you go see say the edge now e no come dey sharp, e no dey pointed again, e don curve am a little bit. So wetin I go just do for you to see am well well now, I go just come back inside my CSS file. Inside my CSS file now, I go just change this one. Instead of this 55 pixel wey I give that border width, I go just change am to 5 pixels. I go come change this border radius to like say 20, so that e go fit curve well well. So I go just come back here, reload our website. Now you see say this thing don change. Shey you see am? This edge now e don curve well well, and we don reduce the border width to 5 pixels, so e no dey very strong again. Shey you see am? What if we wan curve this edge, only this edge wey dey this left corner so? Now we come get special attribute wey be border top left radius, border top right radius, border bottom left radius, and border bottom right radius. Wetin that one mean be say, if I wan curve only this top right angle, wey be say I go leave everything make e dey pointed, I go just talk say border top left radius. So we go just go back to our CSS file like this, come talk say instead of this border radius, I go just talk say border top left radius, come give am 20 pixels. So if I save this information now, come back to our browser, reload our website. Now you see say na only this place na im come curve for inside our border. So as we don talk about border as e dey like that, we go just talk about padding properties. You remember wetin padding still be? The space between con ten t and border. Shey you see am? Now as we don get this our border like this, I go just go put that Bioku is a boy con ten t back inside our border. So I go just come back to our HTML file here like this. Inside this place now, I go just put Bioku is a boy. Is a boy. Exactly. As I don put this Bioku is a boy now, go back to my browser now, reload our website. You know say we don get this Bioku is a boy now inside this thing as e dey like this. Now no pay at ten tion to this space wey dey here o. Na because say we don put height here like this. So if I just clear this height wey dey here, so I go just save this information, go back to our browser, reload my website. So you see say the space now e don dey very uniform. To do our padding now, if you wan add space for between this content and this border, we go just talk say padding. I go just come here say padding. Shey you see am, padding. I go just give am 20 pixels. Save this information. Now go back to our browser, come reload our website. Shey you see say we don get space around this our Bioku is a boy content. And just like border, we get padding top, padding bottom, padding right and padding left. So if you wan make the space wey dey here like this come plenty, we go just talk say come here inside our CSS file now. Instead of this padding as we dey put am so like this, I go just copy this thing comot here like this, come talk say padding left. Shey say e don show me like this. Padding left, I just give am say 20 pixels. Save this information like this, go back to our browser, come reload our website. You see say the space wey dey this left hand side so e don plenty, but e no show well well, so make I just go increase that number. So I go just talk say instead of this 20, I go just give am 50. Come save this information like this, go back to my browser, come reload our website. You see say e don increase. Exactly. So if I wan do padding top and padding bottom, so make e be like that, so I go just come back here like this, talk say this padding left now, I wan make padding top get exactly the same information. I go just copy this one, come paste am like this. Instead of this padding left, I go just talk say padding top. Shey you see am? I go just save this information now, come go back to our browser, reload our website. You see say now e don give am space here like this, so we get 50 pixels here, we get 50 pixels here sef. So you fit just put that one around padding top, padding bottom, padding left and padding right. Exactly. So na the properties of our padding na im be that. So wetin I go just do now be say I go just show you a trick to apply padding all around, because sometimes e go dey very boring to dey put padding left, padding bottom, padding right and padding left. Apart from say e dey boring, na repetition of code. So wetin you go fit just do be say you go just specify say padding. Now as you don specify padding so, you go come give am top, right, bottom and left value. Shey you see am? So this information wey I don represent here so mean say the first information wey dey here na top, the second one na right, the third one here na bottom and the last one na left. So you no need cram am, just know say na clockwise direction e dey go, from top, right, bottom and left. Shey you see am? That clockwise direction like that. So if I save this information like this, come go back to our browser, reload this information. Shey you see now? Shey you see this information like this? I go just minimize this one like this so that you go fit understand am better. So this one mean say e don apply 20px here to the top. Shey you see say this top like this, e dey small a bit. Now e apply 5px to the right. Forget about the space, say this one as e dey like this, e come wide. Na because say na block level element. When we reach block level element now, you go understand better. Just know say e don apply 5px to the right, e come apply 40px to the bottom. Shey you see now? E come apply 55px to the left. For you to understand say na clockwise direction e dey work. So this one now, I go just put 120px now. As you see am now, I don put 120px for top. Shey you dey see am? So I go just save this information now as e dey like this. So I go just reload this our file like this. Shey you see am? The space wey dey between this border and this top now, e don increase by 120 pixels. This one wey be 5 here na right. Shey you dey see am? Because na clockwise direction. So that one no go too show, so I go just leave that one. So this 40 wey dey here so na bottom, because e dey go clockwise. After top, e go go right. After right, e go come down to bottom. After bottom, then e go go left. So this one wey dey here like this, instead of 40, I go just reduce am to 10. So we dey expect say this space wey dey here like this, make e reduce. So if I save my CSS file like this, come back to my browser, come reload our website, so you see say this one don reduce. And for this one like this, instead of 55, make I just talk say make e be 155. So if I put one here, come save my CSS file, come reload am. Before I reload am, just pay at ten tion to this left wey dey here. So if I reload am like this, say you see am, say e don white. Wetin I go like show you now na background color. So if I just put background color here like this, background color, come talk say white. shey you see am. If I save dis information like dis, come go back into our browser like dis, come reload am, shey you see now say e don take effect of white background. Shey you see am. I just wan point am to you say na only padding dey get colour, margin no dey get colour lai lai. Shey you see am. I wan make you just put dat one at the back of your mind. Now we go just quickly talk about margin. Shey you dey feel me? But if you wan talk about margin now like dis, I go just clear all dis information wey dey here, so we go just know say na only width, colour and style we get. So if I save dis file, come reload our website here like dis, you see say we don get everything pam as e dey like dis. So now we go just talk about margin. Just like padding, margin get margin left, margin right, margin bottom and margin top. As e dey like dat, so I go just come back here like dis say, so if I just talk say margin like dis, come give am say 55 px, wetin dat one mean be say because say na just one I put inside here like dis as the value of dis margin, e go come apply dis 55, e go apply am to left, apply am to top, apply am to right and apply am to bottom. So if I save dis my file for inside dis my CSS now, come reload my browser like dis, shey you see am. Now wetin I go just do be say instead of dis 55, so I go just do dat multiple value application wey I do for inside dat padding. So top now go get 55, right now go get 20 pixels, bottom now go get 55 pixels and left go come get 120 pixels. Shey you see am. So if I save dis file now, come reload my website like dis, shey you see am. But if you wan know dis information well well, dis information say you wan get dis information well well, wetin I go just do be say dis bioku class wey dey here, I go just cut am comot for inside dis bioku is a boy, right? Come apply am to dis CodeNPidgin wey dey here like dis. Shey you dey see am. So I go just come here like dis inside my HTML, dis bioku class, I go just cut am comot, Ctrl X to cut am comot. Inside dis pidgin, inside dis CodeNPidgin as you see am like dis, I go just come apply dat class as e dey like dis. Make I just comot dis class head wey dey inside dis one like dis, come paste dat class bioku. If I save dis information like dis, come back to my CSS, come save dat one sef. So I go just go back to my browser, come reload am. Now shey you don see dis margin as you see am so, e don apply 55 pixels of margin from dis top like dis to dis border. If you wan see dis thing clearly now, I go just increase dis number. Now I go just put dis one to be 255. So I go just save dis information like dis, come reload our website. So reload am like dis, shey you see am. Shey you see say e don apply 255 pixels of margin to the top. And you go remember the definition of margin say na the space between border and your browser, or you fit just talk say the space between your border and your screen. Shey you see am. So the space between dis place now and dis place na the margin. So we don increase dat margin top 255 pixels. So if I wan increase dis margin left now, e don apply 120 pixels of margin to dis left. So if I wan increase am like dis, I go just put dis one to be 350, I go just put dis one to be 320. So if I save dis information now, come reload our website, shey you see am. E don apply 320 pixels. So if you wan know whether e dey work well well, instead of dis 320, I go just change am to 10. Save dis information now, come reload our website. Shey you see am. Shey you see am say e don take 10 pixels of margin instead of dat initial 320. So dis one like dis, instead of 55, I go just turn am to 5. So you see am. I go just save dis file like dis, come reload am. Shey you see am. Shey you see am. I dey scroll like dis, I dey scroll jack am up, but e no dey go because I don restrict am to be 5 pixels. So na the attribute wey dey around box models na im be all dis. So you always want to know the difference between your con ten t, your padding, your border and your margin. So as e be say we don discuss about box model for inside dis tutorial, na so e go be for inside dis tutorial. I go see you for the next tutorial where we go dey discuss about floating and positioning.